and maximize on the opportunities that are availed to us in this meeting that we are having. As I said, both with the exhibitors, amongst ourselves as well, and then also on the Q&A sessions that we are going to have. I believe that's a QR code to the Mentimeter platform. So kindly, any questions you've had, kindly share them, and we'll be sure to make sure that they are attended to within the panel session in the afternoon. So allow me as well at this time to just make a few partner mentions for some of the partners that have been able to join up with us, both as exhibitors and also just partnering with this conference. First and foremost, and as I mentioned them, I'd like us to just appreciate each one of them for just coming together, joining together to bring this conference to life and to bring this summit to life. Of course, the first is Farisi Premium. Farisi Premium, that is a brand that is associated with our father. Let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. They have always been consistently available to support every meeting that different ministries in the church are having. And even in this meeting, particularly for this meeting, we really appreciate their presence. Next, allow me to appreciate Rose for Care Natural Wellness Center. Rose for Care Natural Wellness Center. Let's appreciate them as well. I believe their stand is within the exhibitors area. And then also let's appreciate AMG Realtors. AMG Realtors, ASA Real Estate Agency Practice, and they have been doing quite some good work. Let's take the music a bit down, guys. Media team at the back, let's put the music a little bit down. It's a bit loud. These guys not only sell property within Kenya, but also outside of the country as well. So anyone who would be interested in making that kind of investment, and also anyone who would be interested maybe in sounding out people that you know, friends or relatives who are based outside of the country, I believe particularly in the United States, they would be more than glad to assist, and I've seen their stand as well. They are in the exhibitors area. That is AMG Realtors. There is also Payless. Payless are also, I believe, to the extreme end at the corner. Let's appreciate them as well. And I believe if you scan the QR codes or the boards that are just under the pulpit on the left and on the right, you'll be able to access Wi-Fi, and I believe it's Wi-Fi that is given free. Now, guys, part of what makes that quite a useful engagement is that even as the speakers are speaking, if you want to feel free maybe to Google something up or just do your own research as they are speaking, just to dig deeper into some of the things that they are sharing, some of this infrastructure is available to enable you to be able to do that. So let's just try and maximize as much as we can on that opportunity and on some of these things that have been made available for us within this summit. And I know we'll be able to have a productive rest of the day. Let me also appreciate Periel Business Consulting Limited. Let's appreciate them. Periel Business Consulting Limited as well. I've seen them at the stand on the outside. And then I had mentioned this a bit earlier when the meeting was starting. SAFSIM eSIM. SAFSIM eSIM. Now, allow me to explain this even as we continue to wait upon our guests to join us once again. Anyone who has had the opportunity to travel outside the country, especially in Europe and in the Americas, you will realize that you can, of course, use roaming if you're on any of the local networks, but it can get quite expensive. So one of the things that can actually help you to navigate through that space such that you can access data, and then you'll be able to make calls, maybe on WhatsApp, and also connect on your socials, is having an eSIM. So an eSIM, what you do is you buy a package. It's not like a physical SIM card that you insert into your phone. Is that you get online, and I believe if you visit their stand, they'll be able to maybe explain this in more detail, is that you can be able to log onto their platforms and you buy a package. And some of the packages are limited to a number of days. Other packages are limited to data that you can be able to buy as well. Now, the beauty about SAFSIM eSIM is, if you try to buy eSIMs randomly off the internet, perhaps you'll have to pay for them either in euros or in dollars or in an international currency. But for SAFSIM, it will have the same effect globally, but you get to pay for it using M-Pesa. So it makes your movement, now if you have the M-Pesa app, whether it's locally or globally, you can still keep topping up and you can still keep using their eSIM even when you are outside. So you don't have to get a foreign line, you don't have to get a foreign phone, you can still use your line that you've been using while you're here, but now you have an electronic SIM by which you can be able to be connected. Guys, that thing is a game changer. If you've traveled out of the country, you know when you have to navigate, perhaps through airports, if you're having multiple layovers in different places, trying to navigate at times becomes very difficult. Sometimes you need to make calls to update people. Sometimes you need to move from one airport to another, maybe through rail. So if you're not well connected, it can make traveling abroad quite a nightmare. So those guys, I believe, are offering quite a unique service. I believe they are one of a kind as far as that product being marketed in Nairobi or in Kenya is concerned. So let's visit them and then engage them on that platform as well. We have Pastor Team Ministries as well, and of course the home church here, that is Life Church International Limuru. Let us appreciate our home church for taking the initiative to organize this venture, to gather, to advertise, to gather the speakers that are here. These are friends of the house, and we look forward to more and more meetings like this going forward. Allow me to also appreciate International Housing Solutions as well. International Housing Solutions and Mivida Homes as well. And these are also exhibitors of ours that are within the exhibitor space. Now, I'd just like to point out a few nuggets perhaps from the last speaker that we had here. And as I said, the beauty about some of the discussions we are having here is that whether you are in different industries or professions, or whether you are at different levels within the market space, I believe you can be able to relate with the diversity of wisdom that is being presented regarding the marketplace. So I know there is something for each and every one of us at every level of business that we are in, or at every level of career that we are in. The beauty about having experts who have been in the field for this long is that from their experience and their growth, and I'm really glad that they are sharing from their personal journeys as well, is that they have started from the ground up. So there's a place where they either started their careers, or there is a place where they started their journeys in business. So they can relate with with the entirety of the business cycle. So don't feel like you're out of place, perhaps when some concepts are being discussed and they might look like maybe they're for businesses that should be at a certain level. No. The beauty about our speakers is whether you are at the founder's stage, whether you are still thinking or contemplating, do I go from my 8 to 5 and then get into maybe getting into business, so you've not made the decision yet, you're not sure about it, or whether you've gotten into the business setup and it was not as fruitful as you expected and you faced a few challenges. It doesn't matter. Either way, the wisdom that is being presented is able to address the needs at each and every stage or level of business. Now, over and above that, again, one thing that I'm really enjoying about the speakers that we've had so far, and perhaps I'll ask one of the guys who was assisting me earlier to just spread out a few microphones, because before our speakers join us, I'd also like to hear from a few people. What are some of the things that you're picking up from the conversations that are happening here? And also, what are some of your anticipations and expectations? So Jeremy, kindly assist me with that as well. Just get 1 or 2 mics. If there's anyone, you can just raise your hand. And I'd like to hear from you as well regarding what your experience is of the meeting so far, regarding what your take home is so far from the speakers that we've been able to engage with so far. But again, the beauty about engaging with these guys is that you don't just start a business for a business to stay at a certain level. That you get into commerce so that you can be able to grow a brand, so that you can be able to continue solving a problem. Our last speaker was just saying that for you to recognize opportunities, you just need to see where the problems are within any demographic. Whether it is a town, a city, whether it is a population demographic, or even in a nation, just see where the gaps are. And that's where the opportunities are. And if you can be able to isolate them and maximize on your investment, then you will be able to get return. Let me see, are there any guys who would like to share their comments or thoughts or anticipations with regards to how the meeting is going on so far? I'd also like to point out one of the other very powerful things that has been shared within the course of the morning, particularly within the scope of AI. And one of the things that the speaker mentioned was that AI is not coming to replace people, but it's coming to replace the people who don't know how to use AI. Because at the end of the day, it is still a tool that requires and demands the instruction of human beings. So it's something that if we don't understand it, it can look very scary on the outside. And I remember having that conversation with one of the daughters of the house regarding the fact that there are so many platforms out there. And the thing is, if you don't know how to use it, you remain outside of the ecosystem. But if you know how to engage it, and if you know how to tailor it specifically to meet the need that you have, one of the things that was mentioned is that you can have an office space where you're operating as 5 people in a farm, but because of how adept you are at handling AI tools at different levels, you can be 5 people in a farm, but you can have the output of 50 people. Now, those perhaps who are in career spaces, you've perhaps been able to enjoy this a bit more. And those who are tech innovators as well, you've been able to engage with this quite a bit. So the opportunities are plenty. The diversity is quite abundant, and it's something that we really need to take advantage of as we go forward. The hope is that this is not the last time, especially for those who are members of the House, that this is not the last time that we'll be hearing from some of these voices, because like I said earlier, a good number of them are members of the House and friends of the House. So these are people who we can be able to benefit from quite a bit going forward. But let me see, is there someone at the back there who would, let me see, or Jeremy, you can, there's someone at the back, Jeremy, on the other end. On the extreme end, I think he's raising his hand, and then there's a lady in red also, so you can share one mic to the gentleman, you can hear from the gentleman, and then another one with the lady in red, and then we come here. I know she had quite a number of comments from the earlier sessions. We must hear from you before we proceed. Yes, please proceed, give us your name and maybe your comments or your questions as the case may be.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Daniel Ogutu. What I pinpoint from the last speaker that spoke is that the ability to create wealth is within me. If I invest in my mind, then if the investment of my mind, then I'll be able to create wealth by identifying a problem in certain circumstances, then providing solution. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate him for those comments. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. There was a lady in red just there.
Praise God.
Amen.
My name is Felicia Sande. I would like to make a compliment about what Mrs. Pauline said. you take a risk or lose a chance.
Wow.
And there's another compliment I want to make. You cannot sell your dream looking like a nightmare. Thank you.
Amazing. You cannot sell your dream looking like a nightmare. Again, invest in yourself. Let's appreciate her as well. There's a lady right here. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Gertrude. I'm a pharmacist. I'm a career person, but I'm also a founder of a number of upcoming things, so in fashion and also in coaching. I have to appreciate the speakers that so far, I think there's a lot that I've learned from the two Tonys and Pauline. And I have an anticipation. My question would be that if maybe at the end, if one of the speakers can help when you're in the reality of building a kingdom business, you know that God has planted that idea in your heart and you're already in the plan of executing. And I'm speaking that because that's where I am. But again, you're not sure if it's time for you to fully pursue that idea or you still stay where you are. So what are the practical steps that as you're executing your God-given idea that someone can actually borrow from to just really learn and know? I know most of these things is the Holy Spirit that will keep leading, but then the sessions are very practical. So then if you can get some of those practicalities of knowing, I think that will be more helpful.
Amazing, amazing. Let's appreciate our guests once again as they come in. Perhaps we can take one more very quick comment. There's a hand on that side. Yes.
Thank you. Very quickly, my name is Strong Mohoti, a software developer. You can check me out on smsolutions.co.ke. My greatest takeaway from the very last session was we grow from grace to grace. That has shifted my understanding that I can begin as a seller of bananas on the streets. Then I get from that level of unmerited favor to another level of unmerited favor of supplying the same bananas to hotels. Then I grow to another level of unmerited favor of supplying it bigger and bigger. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I know one of the things that was mentioned by the first speaker that we had, Mr. Anthony, was quite an emphasis on progressive and organic growth. That you really, when you get into the marketplace, the journey, because it's a journey, it's not an event. You don't get into the marketplace to just do one thing and get out. No, it's a journey. And part of that journey demands that you're very conscious about every space. Let's appreciate our guests once again. Let's stand up. Let's stand up and appreciate the set man of the house and one of our national leaders as well as they join us for this next session. Asanteni sana. Let us have our seats. We are pressed for time, so we'll just proceed and jump in immediately. Asante sana for the feedback that you've given so far. I think to our guests, we were just having a discussion on how the experience has been since morning and the expectations and the anticipation that is there even for the remainder of the speakers and for our panel discussion. By the way, guys, for our guests, just be ready for that panel discussion because I think the people have so many questions. Mr. Anthony, I was just listening to a few guys outside and they were saying they need to hear more and they need to be able to ask more questions. So I know we will have quite a fruitful engagement, but now we must move to our next speaker of the day. And at times when there are many accolades, you do not do yourself justice by reading out all the accolades. You do justice by focusing on the main accolades because you might end up taking over the meeting and it is not your meeting. So allow me to just point this out. Our next speaker is a serial entrepreneur from a very early age. and who has brought a lot of enthusiasm, especially to young people within the entrepreneurial space, and just consistently reminding young people that take the leap. In fact, I say this a bit in jest. After listening to some of his videos, I end up sometimes when I'm talking with the older generation, like our parents, and I tell them, you see what Mahesh is saying, sometimes it's not just this side, we can also throw something on this other side as well. And it makes for quite an interesting conversation. Sir, thank you so much for the work that you are doing in that space. He has been involved and continues to be involved within the stocks and capital market sector within the Republic of Kenya through his entity, that's Stockbridge Capital. He's also been involved in the telecoms space through the entity AfriSec Telecoms, which is a fiber and infrastructure and internet provision service entity. He's also been a credible voice within our nation with regards to investment and with regards to politics as well. He is the current sitting member of parliament for Keharu constituency in Murang'a County. He has also had the privilege of serving the nation within the Public Accounts Committee for quite some time. And he has also been accredited and honored by the nation with the honor of the Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear for his leadership with respect to matters CDF management and more so with respect to educational initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, giving honor where honor is due, let us appreciate the member for Keharu constituency, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro.
Tunaweza keti. Thank you very much, MC, Wakili, my brother, Pastor T, and also my sister, Mrs. Pastor T, all the other leaders of the church, wale wametagulia before I came, the speakers, the earlier speakers, all the other guests and members of this church. Good afternoon. Kenya oye. Limuru oye. Pastor T oye. Pastor T, it better be Bishop T very soon. I am very, very delighted to be here this afternoon. And I will not be reading a speech, because I want to talk some few things of my mind. I want to recognize Pastor T for giving me this opportunity to come and share experiences and shape ambitions and inspire. As the MC put it, kwa wageni naitwa Dede Nyoro, mimi ni mbunge wa Keharu. But because by the look here, I see many people who are younger than us, it's also good that I say in the education sector, I take it very seriously. Myself, in terms of empowerment, self-empowerment, because as a leader, you polish your decisions by learning. And you cannot afford to make your decisions by what you feel. It has to be empirically based. And for that reason, I am grateful to God for giving me an opportunity to have gone to KU for my undergrad, where I did BA Economics. I also have taken a master's in economics, actually Masters of Arts in Economics from the University of Nairobi, and another Masters in Economics, Public Policy from KU, and recently a short course on economics again from the London School of Economics, and again this April, another short course on economic development from Harvard University. I don't say that in jest. I say that because even myself, I used to be inspired by the people who are ahead of us. Ukisikia mtu ambaye unatazama mwenendo yake, ungetaka kuwa kama yeye, we could take notes on what they have done. So I encourage all of us that any moment you spend in a classroom with other people learning, it's not a moment you are wasting. you are making yourself a better product and to be more useful to the world. The second thing I want to highlight is that I also take my job as Member of Parliament very, very seriously. Because I always believe that the opportunities we get to serve, whether as an MCA, a Member of Parliament, even the President, you are chosen among so many. You can imagine in a constituency with over 125,000 voters, being chosen among all those, then the bare minimum you can do is to be very serious. And that is why I also want to thank God that, Kiharu is a rural constituency, for those who don't know. And by the way, ni vizuri mujue, hata hii seminar Kiharu imerepresentiwa sana. Because the previous speaker, Tony, is also from Kiharu. So kwa topic ya leo mjue kwenye mutafix jina Kiharu. So Kiharu is a rural constituency like where Tony went to school, called Kamaguta. And Muranga town is in Kiharu. But it's only one ward. There are other 5 wards in the rural area. So we have around 120 public primary schools. And all of them, all the classrooms, except pengine ile imejengwa jana ama juzi, all our classrooms in a rural constituency are all tiled. I know some of you who are brought up in Nairobi are wondering, so tile, what hiyo ni nini sasa? And on top of that, when I say tiling, of course you can't go to a classroom and start tiling. It is the culmination of holistic work. And of course, building other facilities that are needed. We have also been able to, there's a time I went to a place in South Africa called Camps Bay. So when I was walking around there, I saw an institution which upon going nearer, I came to see that it was Camps Bay Municipal School, which is very smart and very infrastructure inaonekana ni watu wanaheshimika. And I took photos of that school. And when I came back home, I called my staff and told them that our institutions have to be near that. So we started doing cabro in our schools. The ones you see on social media are not AI. So we have been able to do around 65 institutions now cabro. And we are doing two that are ongoing now, and more in August holiday, and of course more in December holiday. But as I wind up about Kiharu, one thing that really, makes me smile about what we have been able to do is a program we call Kiharu Masomo Bora. So we have around 60 or so day secondary schools, public. And they have around maybe roughly 12,000 learners. School fees in Kiharu, on the basis of Kiharu NGCDF, in all our day secondary schools, is only 500 shillings per term. 500 peke yake. And the learners eat in school from Monday to Saturday. And the last Friday of the month, they actually eat chapati over lunch. Na sisemi ile ya machine, real ones. So, you see, you guys, we are your servants, public servants. When we get this kind of an opportunity, and even before I shout a slogan, it is good for me to give a snippet of my report card. Because even if I'm a member for Parliament in Kiharu, I'm the member of the National Assembly. So I am very, very, very proud about that. And I have no doubt absolutely that Kenya should be affording free basic education for all school-going children here. Because it has been done. I'm not hypothesizing. It has been done, and I know the formula. Let me go to what brought me here. Hapa nimeletwa na pesa. Si ati pesa inanibeba, mnataka niongee mambo ya pesa. Because beyond the other things I talked about in the public service, na ile mambo nitaongea, pastor uniombee, mimi ni mtu ambaye napenda sana kuheshimu Mungu. Sababu najua mimi nimefika hapa only that reason. Hakuna mambo ingine imenifikisha hapa. Ni grace ya Mungu. So I'll try as much as possible to be as a politician and be very truthful about everything I say here. Because whatever thing I tell you, Mungu anaangalia roho, au sio? Ama namna gani? So hata nikiongea hii story ya pesa, I want to talk about my convictions about and around entrepreneurship. Not just about what I read, but also what I think is right. The reason I say that, I was telling Pastor T, nikipata stress ya siasa, unajua siasa lazima unakuwa pushed. Kama saa hii mnagoja ati niseme kitu in the next few days. Which I'll say by the grace of God, I am sure He'll guide me. So, when I am so stressed, and I start reading Forbes, in one way or the other, stress inaanza kwenda chini. Forbes magazine ile ya maneno ya pesa. I don't know whether that has a correlation from where I come from, so mutanijibu hiyo baadaye. It's because I love entrepreneurship. And the fact that creating value many times is based on self-interest. The reason why you wake up in the morning to go for work, you as a banker, it's not because you really want to be a teller. It's because you want to be paid salary at the end of the month. The reason why, in economics we say, it is not out of the benevolence of the baker that we enjoy our daily bread. It is out of their own self-interest to make money that we get it every morning. So out of that self-interest, things arrange themselves. As I'm pulling here as a baker, a butcher is also pulling. The matatu owner is also pulling. So I don't need to worry unless there is a strike. Me, I know I wake up in Rimuru, I'll find matatus waiting for me. Because in economics, resources organize themselves on the basis of self-interest. And that's what we are talking about. So, before I go to investments, because investments that I want to highlight is the passive side. But you can't talk about money to invest before you have it. So that is the paradox. When I come here and talk to you about investing to me, and I'll highlight later, is more on the passive side, more than the active side. So I'll start with the active one. So I'm investing, yes. Where do I get the money first? The active side of getting money are two avenues. One avenue is, of course, employment, profession, career, getting a job, being employed. Whatever semantics you talk about, it is selling your labor, selling your brain, selling your hearts, selling your experience, and trading your education. So you trade all that in a market called employment, where you get yourself and see, mimi ile masomo nimepata, and the experiences I have, and the gravitas I have to work, I am worth this much per month. So you trade it. That's one area of getting money. Because at the very least, you have yourself. At the very least, whatever you may need to sell, in terms of resources, at the very basic, you have yourself. You have your mouth, you have your heart. So let's now talk about, have they been polished and enhanced? Maybe through processes like experience and education. That's a different issue. So, this area of employment, and because I know we were many speakers, and there is a reason why I was told by Pastor T to talk about investments. So hizi zingine nita highlight tu kidogo kama hii naongea. So, one thing I have seen as a business person, as an investor, we look for jobs, and for sure, looking at the data in Kenya, I mean, there are many people without jobs and they want them. But this is the truth also. There are so many people wanting to employ, they don't get the people to employ. People are there. I mean the person to fit into where to what they want. So as you hustle as a young person to guide your career, know that competition is down here. Competition, let's take a bank, and I'm talking about real experiences I have seen with my eyes. The banking sector in Kenya, if you need to be in the banking hall, it's easy to get a job. Yes, it's difficult, you are looking for it, but there is masses there. The masses are more, meaning opportunities are more. But it's also more very cutthroat. In fact, there is more competition in a person working in a bank, in the bank hall. There is more competition there than in the CEOs. Ask any person who owns a bank anywhere here in Kenya. They tell you how they recruit CEOs is by poaching them. Because there are too few that can handle that kind of job. So early enough, start training yourself. What is it? By the way, mfanya research. Nimechukua tu hiyo sekta moja. Any bank, KCB, Equity, any. There is a place now you unaanza kuenda juu. You realize this person moved from NCBA, moved from there to Equity to KCB. Because after a certain level, it becomes very difficult for you to get an employee. So you poach. People poach. So early enough as you venture into your career, start taking a path that will catapult you up there. Stop minding so much about how to sustain your job down here. Start focusing on how you can break the ceiling to go to where you get poached. Let me go to the other area that you... I said I'm just sharing one point each here so that I go to the issue of investments. So the other place, here nimepeana ni employment, getting a job. That's the first one. I only give you one point. Don't concentrate so much where you think there are masses. You will be shocked that there is less competition higher. So start learning. Huyu CEO wa hii bank amesomea nini? Wamefika hapo aje? It's not age. The current CEO of Stanbic Regional was previously CEO of KCB, for example, at his 30s. So it's not age. So what is it? Let me throw the ball to you. You know better because me, I have never looked for a job. So you are an expertise more than me there. So let me go to the other area that you can get money actively. Entrepreneurship, doing business, whatever you may call it here, there. Something you do actively. When you own a real estate company and you are a part of the management, you own it actively. Hapo ndio unaenda asubuhi kufanya kazi. When you own a milling company like Farisi, you are in active business unless you are a passive investor. So entrepreneurship, doing business. I'll take a little bit more time there because I believe you'll get much more money to invest there more than the other one that I talked about. The other one, I told you are the expertise. That one can't give you a lot of money, my friend. So, hii entrepreneurship, acha niwape ka story kidogo. Ile MC hakusema. Mimi nikiwa class 6 kule home. Me am a Gishagi person. I think you can see already. So, nikiwa huko Shags, my father alikuwa carpenter pale Thika. Alikuwa anakaa Kiadutu slums pale Thika, Kiadutu estate. Sasa nisiseme hivyo, msinidharau sana. Nilikuwa nakaa Kiadutu Estate. So my mom ni watu tu normal wale tu tumerewa Gishagi mnajua, a normal family. Maybe yetu sasa was not normal, was subnormal. Nyumba ya matope hapo nini. So your mother is a peasant farmer. So analima tu hapo kwenu. So mimi nikiwa class 6 kulikuwa na mayanko yangu. Sasa huyu ni bro ya Madhe. Because Madhe hakuolewa fa. Next Puring Center. So, I was to say village. Puring Center is close to my heart, you guys. So, my uncle, bro ya Madhe, alikuwa hapa Nairobi na kahoteli. Pale karibu Chloride Lakeside, ukienda South B. So alikuwa nakuja home na gari KUY 216. He's the only relative I knew he had a car. So mi class 6 nikaambia Madhe, hii masomo mnatuambia tusome. My uncle hakusoma na ako na gari. Mimi wacha nianze biashara. Nikaanza ka kiosk hapo kwetu. It didn't do very well because a class 7-6 pupil na 200 kwa mfuko, you feel like you own the school. So mwalimu anajaribu kusema vitu hapo na shagaa atamaliza saa ngapi. So masomo ikaanza kudidimia. So one of my teachers from our village akatime venye mzee amekam. Our fathers wenye walikuwa nakaa far walikuwa nakuja weekends. So akakuja amwambia kijana si mbaya lakini tangu anza biashara kichwa ni kama inashika nini. Inakuwa kama rami kukauka. So my father akaniambia hesabu stock yote. Nikahesabu ikakuja shilingi I think 600. Akaibaye yote. Kaniambia kwanza rudi kwa masomo. Nikasoma nikapita. Kwenda high school yenye sikuitwa sio yenye nilienda, of course juu ya pesa, of course you know that by now. So nikaenda yenye neighboring, but it was boarding but almost day. You know kuna boarding school iko almost day school So kutoka hapo first year nikaanza kushona viatu. Nikashona nikaanza story ya canteen. Many of our high schools canteens zilikuwa zinaraniwa na clubs. So science club, drama club, hii month. So nikaona nitajoin clubs karibu zote. Ndio nichaguliwe official nipate time ya Quran canteen. Nikaenda hivyo, sitaki kurefusha story, nikaenda campus. KU. Kwanza nikasema mimi kama boy ametoka mashinani, the only man in the home because mzee alikuwa ametuacha nikiwa form 1. Sikuacha ati kuenda kabisa. So nikaona mama sasa nikiwa kijana wa home, mimi nikienda kampo hakuna fees nalipiwa na mtu. So from first year nikaanza kutafuta ile before help ingie unahitajiki kuwe na tu pesa ya kulipa first sem. Nikalipa. Nilikuwa najaribu kufupisha story. So nikaenda KU. Between high school and university, I had been employed as a librarian in my former high school so that I clear the balance I left. So nikakuwa librarian, nalipo mshahara nusu inaenda kukiria fees balance. So nilikuwa na tu pesa kidogo. Na pia nikakuja like 3 months to kuingia campus, nikaenda ida kufanya vibarua fulani hapo. So mimi nikasema sasa nimekuja Nairobi. Gishagi dirashoka. Uliza neighbor wako nimesema nini. Nikaona yani how can I come all the way ati mimi nirudi Gishagi tukivuka shule. Nikasema sasa nimekuja. Mimi naongea na nyinyi mko kampo hapa mnasida mkiitisha sijui M-Pesa home. So nikiwa librarian nilisoma vitabu mob sana. Nilisoma hata Bible from beginning to the end that time. You know niko librarian, si busy, so time yote ni kusoma. Na hiyo time mimi nikakuwa na 2 ambitions. Kukuwa na pesa, to be wealthy, but also number 2, to be a leader, diplomatic of being a politician. I'm being diplomatic. So, kuingia kampo, nikasema naanza hizo dreams saa hizo. So first sem ya campus, nikapewa help. Unajua mnaingiaga kampo September. Tunaingiaga campus September. Second sem inaanzaga beginning of the year hapo hivyo. So mimi nikaona naanza kupursue hizi dreams zangu mbili hapo campus. So first help ni ya kujistabilize. Second help ya second sem. Nikaenda mwenye mnajua KU. Pali inaitwa KM. Nikaanza ka hoteli hapo. Na nikakopa friend yangu anaitwa Wamwere ako UK saa hii. Nikamkopa help yake, tukaenda Gikoba, tukanunua masufuria. Only that day I remember it for one reason. Tulienda kununua sufuria, Wamwere akaniambia tupitie kwa girlfriend yake hapa pale Rudhuri Avenue. Kwanza mimi nashangaa majamaa kuna girlfriend. Unajua kutoka Gishagi hiyo sasa ni story nyingine. That's another topic mtaita another day. So nikaona girlfriend anatuangalia hivi, nikajua hapa hii ni kama kuna shida hapa. So we came to later learn with Wamwere. Hii siku tulienda kumsalimia was Valentine's Day. Na tumebeba sufuria badala ya maua. Na ni kama aliachwa after that day. So tukaenda KM, tukaanza ka hoteli hapo. Tukasukumana, majamaa wa class wanakuja, hey dede, nini hapo, wanakula, tuonaneni ya class. Umezaa kula hoteli yangu na niambia tuonanie class. Hoteli ikaanguka. The same ndio kuna kuanga na elections za student leadership. Pia hiyo nikavai nikasema lazima hizi dreams zangu mbili ningangane. Hoteli imeanguka, mimi bado niko. Nikavai. To be a congress person nikiwa fresha. Nikadefitiwa na 4 votes. Leta nikuambie that day, unajua zile bed za campus za mesh wire. Nililala nilikuwa nasikia kama iko na jiko hapo chini. Because I was wondering how can I fail in all fronts, business and politics. I almost thought, why can't I be a normal student? Nisome tu kama wengine niache stress. But of course once you have that thing inside you, huwezi rudi hapo. So to cut the long story short, nikakuwa student leader second year, nikachaguliwa sasa. Na nikaanza biashara proper second year as a stock broker. Sasa nikakuwa sasa naguzaguza tu pesa. After graduating, nikaita watu hapo graduation ceremony. Just a few. My mother, friends, just a few. Na mnajua graduation ceremony wewe una graduate, ndio unakuanga chief guest. Kila mtu ashaongea sasa ni wewe. Mimi niliamka nikawaambia, ndio ni watu wa church sana. Mkienda mniombe ndio nisipate kazi. That was my graduation pre. My graduation day's speech was, mkienda mniombe nisipate. Najua mnafikiria ni vako. Because it's very difficult to do that. Hii ndio hesabu nilifanya, ndio point yangu sasa. Hiyo story yote nilikuwa naileta kwa hii point. Wewe uko hapa umeajiriwa job. Una earn 200k. Na hapa 200k tunaongea ni story ya branch manager wa bank. So this is not just a job, it is a big job. 200k unaweza save pesa ngapi? Na hapa tuongee sasa chap na mtu anainua mkono hivi tunasema. Ukijibu vizuri I can give you wacha nisiseme nakumbuka kwenye niko naona nitulize boli. So 200k, how much can you save from 200,000? Yes? 100k. 50. 20. Tuchukue ile Mwangi alisema ya 100k. Ajua Mwangi saves everything, eh? So 100K per year. How much money is that? Hapa hivi tukiwa hivi. Wengine hata tutapita hiyo age. So I'll be asking you a question in reverse. Ukiwa 30 years old. Hata tuseme ukiwa 35 years old. Ungekuwa hii Nairobi uko unakaa mtaa gani? Ukiwa 35 mtaa gani? Which estate? Sauti bana, tusaidiane. Mimi nawauliza nyinyi, si mimi nitasema. Umoja, yes. Ruda. Hii ni high maintenance. Another one. Yeah? Very good. So, tuseme ile kakaun compound ile uko na kwako ni wapi? Ile si apartment. Tell me kama hiyo ya Ruda moja, Kawasukari, Buruburu, Roiro, bas. Tumalizie hapo. Tuchukue the median of those. Ile iko katikati. Tuchukue ni Kawasukari, sio? Proti Kawasukari ni pesa ngapi? 15 million. Quarter. Nataka tuende pamoja. Ukiwa 35 ungetaka udrive gari gani? So saa ushapita na kuuliza ulikuwa unataka kudrive gani? So usiniambia ati nauliza the wrong question. No, it is the right question in the wrong timing. So ujifanye nilikuja hapa 10 years ago, eh? So kama uko 40, ukiwa 35 ulikuwa unataka kudrive gari gani? Prado imetumika, sio? Second hand. So tuanzie hapo. So Kawasukari quarter plot. Na wewe unajua ni branch manager, 200K you are saving 100,000. 1.2 million a year. How long will it take you? Ceteris paribus. Lazima mjue nimefanya economics, eh? Holding all other factors constant. 15 million divided by 12. Divided by 1.2. How long? Si mko na calculator? Smartphone kwanza mko na iPhone hizi mpya. Hapana, mumefanya the wrong 12.5. So we graduate ukiwa 25 and immediately you got a job as a branch manager. Hey, you are so lucky, eh? So let's assume at 27 ndio ulipata hiyo kazi. 27 plus 12.5 is what? Uko 40. So you have done very well. Because at least uko na ploti Kawasukari. Lakini bado hauna gari. Lakini hiyo ploti haujajenga. So nilikafanya hiyo hesabu. I may not know the route to getting wealthy, but I had already known one that will never make me wealthy. That was looking for a job. Nikaona wacha ningangane. Nilikuwa nasikia my classmate amepata job PricewaterhouseCoopers. Mwingine amepata kazi Deloitte. Hey, naona. Jusa hiyo nilikuwa na kasaiba pale Kahawawedani. Nilikuwa naona ama I made the wrong choice bana. So that's a choice you have to make early. And even if time imeenda, ujibu hiyo swali in reverse. In the next 10 years, kwa hiyo job, hata ukisave mshahara yote, itakuwa nini? So the few points I want to give there on entrepreneurship. Number one, let me start with attributes. Na mimi siongei mambo ya entrepreneurship dogo. I like kuongea vitu mind blowing. Because kama unatajirika then utajirike. Usitusubue hapa ati nataka unajaribu. If you are making it, you make it. So tuchukue Forbes. Ile Forbes mimi nasoma. Sidhani kuna siku huwa siangalii Forbes list, mtu amedrop na pesa gapi, amegain gapi. Elon Musk akakuwa trillionaire last month. Although shares za SpaceX zimeshuka. Lakini alikuwa trillionaire dollar terms. Let me give you some few attributes zile nimeona kwa mtu mwenye You are not looking to make it. You are looking to actually make it. One thing I have seen reading these guys, interacting with the Kenyan ones, have some bit of being abnormal. That's my point number one. I'm not saying you write being insane, no. But I don't know what to write, but that's the point. Have some, ukue tu na kakitu ni kama hauko normal vizuri. Yani hata ukiwa hasa huku church, kuna watu kusema, huyu jamaa anakuagaje. Jikuza unaonaga ni kama, that point. This is why I'm saying that. In the entire Forbes list, top 10 of the Forbes list today, maybe 8 of those people are all new industries. Those are new sectors. Never existed in my own lifetime. Me. Why? Number one, hebu tuone hapa, Elon Musk. Kwanza hata si Muamerika, ni jamaa wa South Africa. South African born American. Elon Musk, the richest person in the world. Hebu tu analyze, amekuwa trillionaire na sasa ni billionaire juu ya nini? Juu ameshuka. Ati kampuni inaitwa Tesla. Okay, saa hii it is commonplace. Electric vehicles are commonplace. If you told somebody about an electric vehicle that years ago, immediately a psychiatrist is booked for you. The second industry, ile imemake akuwe tajiri sana, ati SpaceX. Unajua SpaceX ni nini? Ati Space Exploration Corporation. What is even that? Now, tuende pamoja. In the US, when you become a CEO of a company, you are paid salary, but there is also something called options. Options is, you are given targets. If you reach here, we give you these shares at this price. So what they do is this. Farisi iko hapa, unapea CEO wako target. Nimekupea hii kampuni kama our production is 2,000 bales a day. Unamwambia sasa mimi naenda kucheza golf. If you make this company ikue 5,000 bales a day, I give you 2% of the shares beyond your salary. So those are options. And you give them at the base price. Unampea kama 5 bob. So price ya chini sana. Sasa, some of the targets, listen here. Targets ya Elon Musk, ili amepewa na board ya SpaceX, because he's still CEO. Wewe sasa ukituchocha venye uko busy, hapa Nairobi, huu jamaa ni CEO wa Tesla, na ni CEO wa SpaceX, na ni co-CEO wa kampuni inaitwa Neuralink. So, SpaceX amepewa hii target to redeem the stock options. Grow the market capitalization, the worth of the company, to 8.5 trillion US dollars. This is the second one. You take 1 million people colony to Mars. Na ameitikia na akasai. Just think about that. Is that normal? But even Tesla was not normal 10 years ago. So wait, it becomes normal. Just imagine, wewe unangangana kupata visa hapa ya US. Paka unapigia muhesi wako wenu. Unaweza nisaidia? Jamaa, target yake, financial target, not imagination, is to take a colony of 1 million people to Mars. Na hacheki. The other company yake inaitwa Neuralink. Ati inatengeneza brain implants. Unawekwa kitu kwa akili, muna communicate na computer hapa hivi. Na ni kampuni. See a thought, is already past a thought. It's a company as we talk. There is a person called Peter Monga, munamjua. Alianza Equity Bank. Do you know he was a very successful civil servant? Very successful civil servant, going to retirement. It looks very normal until you put yourself in your shoe. There is kuna mtu nilikuwa naambia, kuna hii siku mumenilima sana juu ya story fulani hapo last nini. So nilikuwa naambia watu, sikuwa najua, you know, unasomaga social media unafikiria tu ni vitu inapita until you wear the shoe. So even this one, it looks normal. Civil servant, around 50s, go past 50. Then I want to start a bank. But I want to start it as a building society first. That is not normal. If you think it's normal, go tell your father to start one. Or you at 50, start thinking about it. And then you realize you are not normal. And the first person to tell you are not normal will be your wife. Juu atakwambia kama ni bank ungeanza hata kabla unikuje kunitafuta. Kitu ya pili. Super commitment. Hiyo story yote, first point, wacha nimalizane nayo. Eda usome Forbes series, hao wengine utaona. Sage Brin, Larry Page, wote, new industry, go. Sasa hizi ni alphabet. Jamaa mwingine hapo Facebook. Nani alikuwa Facebook hapa 25 years ago? New industry. You go down. Other than Warren Buffett hapo karibu, na jamaa wa fashion, wa Louis Vuitton. The rest ni new industries. Meaning, they had to think abnormally. Lakini wewe, unatuchocha huku, the only business that you make you a billionaire ni kuuza mayai. All of us know mayai. So think something else. Second point, super commitment. You know, I could have said commitment, but nimeandika jina super hapo mbele. Because see commitment, it is real commitment, super commitment. If you read these guys, you realize we are so lazy as this generation. The kind of thing you have to do and push. You don't just tap. Unatapu hivi, unaona. Apana. Whatever it is that you want, it is real pushing. Why? Mungu asha kupea uhai. At least you have the ability to push. Push. If you read all those guys I'm talking about, there is a story I was being told by Peter Monga. Ameanza building society, kakona sijui branch 2-3. Then one politician from Muranga akachukua microphone. Akacheka akaambia watu, haya. Nyinyi watu nasikia mmepeleka pesa yetu, ile kitu iko karibu kuanguka. He had a bank run at inception. Akakoperea pesa ndio ukikuja unapewa. You know, that's how a bank runs. If you don't want a bank to run, ile inaitwa bank run. The first person to come for money, mpatie yote. Na the second, wa 10 akikujia apewe, hata wanaendaga nayo nyumbani wanarudisha. But if the 7th person akuje uanze kumwambia huna pesa, hiyo bank imeisha. So bank ikaanza running, bank run. Akakoperea pesa, kila mtu anaitisha pesa anapewa. After 2 days wakaanza kurudisha. You know, it looks normal, it's just a bank run. If you think about it, that's something to annihilate you. Hii SpaceX tunaongea hapa saa hii na Tesla 208 zote bili, both bankruptcy, was staring like this. 1 week to burn money, collapse. Sasa ndio tunasaita hapa SpaceX, Tesla. He was staring at bankruptcy. Jamaa akakoda hivi kabisa. So these things you look for normality, you guys. Normal things then, utosheke ukue normal na usisubue. If you want to be normal, kila mtu anasema hivi na hata mimi nasema hivyo, then it's sawa. Then from today, usitusubue. Point ya 3. How do we, and it's related to the earlier one. How do we view challenges? How? Some of us view them as a comma. Pause a little bit. Some as a full stop. Some as a verdict. Others as a lesson. Always try. You may succeed or learn. Because there is no one we read. Ebu chukueni Bible mzima. Uende kama Old Testament yote. Uniambia anyone we read there. He was born on a Monday, baptized on a Tuesday, married at the right age, baptized, akawekelewa mkono, akaenda shule. Tell me one. Wote unapiga kona ingine sharp. When Abraham unang'ang'ana na maisha challenges. If you think about those challenges now, you realize whatever you are calling a challenge is not. Wewe ni Jacob. Ati unataka kuoa kwanza your cousin. Kwanza your uncle anakuambia hebu fanya job miaka 7. Unamaliza. Hey, munikosoe kama yalikuwa Jacob Najua naweza kuja hapa kuniongea mambo. Alafu nyinyi mnakwaruzana hebu cheki yule. Una work miaka 7. Then unaambiwa try better. Hiyo ilikuwa ya huyu. Unarudi. Unaenda ingine unaambiwa ati buzi yenye sijui iko hivi na hivi. Biology yote inaonyesha wewe huna kitu. Biology ya buzi inaonyesha ati umeabua hizi za sijui sports. Lakini ukiangalia biology hapa inakuonyesha huna kitu. So what am I trying to say? How you view challenges matters a lot. Because I know no one story we cite anywhere in the world of a person, he was born this age, going to school this age. Hapana, hakuna hata moja mimi nimeona. So read about Napoleon Bonaparte, read about Abraham Lincoln. The guy had vied for almost all available positions in America. Yani unavaa MCA unaanguka. Unaenda kuapply kuwa DC unaanguka. Unaenda una-apply kuwa karibu apply women rep. Senator. These are real stories. He vied to be an equivalent of MC akaanguka. An equivalent of an MP akaanguka. An equivalent of a senator akaanguka. Akasema sasa hizi zote I already have a record of failing in all of them. Akakuwa running mate. Hata hiyo akaanguka. Akasema juu sasa CV yangu imejaa hizi zote, sasa navaa ile kubwa ya president wa US. Jamaa akapata. Na saa hii tunamkumbuka, there is no president in the US more cited than Abraham Lincoln. Hawa wengine were being born on a Saturday and went to school on a Monday. Why do we not read them? So if you want to craft a real story of success, how you view challenges matters big time. Sasa niende kwa investment, naona saa. Hey, saa naenda. Lakini hizi tu nitataja. Unajua wani nataja? Juu nilitype sasa nikitype na nikose kusema si nitakuwa niliwaste time. So these are the point about entrepreneurship nitapitia. Why do it? Nilisema ya kwanza. One is that there is no limitation on how much you can make. Kwa employment, it doesn't matter how good you are. No people will meet at within the month waseme amejitolea sana tumuongeze mshahara. The Iraqi will tell you that's precisely why we employed you. So in the entrepreneurship, you get a blank check. You write it. In employment, you get a check already signed and written. Doesn't matter what you do within the month. What you are getting is constant. You may talk about bonuses and the rest. Even them, they are kept in such a manner, sitting. 2, the reason why I vouch for entrepreneurship is because I'm talking to hardworking Kenyans. If you called me for a meeting of Raise the People, I would not have given this point. That in entrepreneurship and business, the more the input, the more the output. There's a correlation on the man-hour you put, the commitment you put, and what you get out. That's not the case in employment. The other thing you may need to think about, I highlighted, yes, you are doing business. In which sector? Which sector are you doing business? Is it a yesteryear sector? How are the margins? Always look for premium business. There is a small book written by one of the guys I enjoy reading about called Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was a co-founder of PayPal together with Elon Musk and another guy called Levchin. So they started PayPal. They merged. Ile ilikuwa ya Elon na hii ikakuwa PayPal. The one you use to transfer money was initially by these guys. So there's like a book he has written, like a small one. He says, because he's now an investor, he highlights the kind of things he looks for. He looks for in investing. One is a company that can become a monopoly. Second is a high margin business, because this is how business works. When you get into a high margin business, you get more profit. Profits are the ones that make you efficient. Efficiency brings down the cost. So naturally you become a natural monopoly in the long run. Because the profits you make is the same money you invest to make your company efficient. Efficiencies brings down the cost. You vanquish any new entrant when you have that kind of a model. The other thing, distinguish. That's the other point. And we make this blunder. Distinguish between your hobby and a business. Social gatherings is full of people practicing hobbies and forcing us to buy their products. Church, you know it better. Choir. Mutua, praise and worship. Now that you started making kyodo, it becomes my obligation to buy your kyodo to support you. That's your hobby. Deal with it. So many times, we want to do hobbies. Mimi ni msanii. Fine. Fanya research yako vizuri. Na because unataka kuwa to make it, really make it, unataka kuwa msanii, kwanza uko na talent, sawa. Then fanya utafiti. There is no better way of judging the future but by the past. So tell me, wewe ni msanii, gifted, what do you want to become? A billionaire. Fine. Just give me two who became billionaire by doing what you are doing here. Oh, Dr. Dre. Oh, fine. Oh, kwao ni wapi? Because kila place iko na dynamics zake. So, distinguish. Uweke usanii pale, tujue wewe ni msanii. Ukipata pesa ni sawa. But now look for a business. Kama ungekuwa place with a market that can make you that, tunaweza ongea. If I go to Forbes list, utaona Dr. Dre ako hapo. Lakini si usanii ilimfanya billionaire. Ni Beats by? Munaelewa Oh. So, if you look at all those, don't confuse your hobby. Still enjoy life by having a hobby. But if you realize you are forcing us, as your friends, to buy your products, you are becoming a nuisance. Hiyo hamwezi hata club nini, because many of you are already there. Ati nimeanza hii biashara ya kushona, unaona koti fulani kama ile pasi uvaa, mimi nazishona. Let the market dictate whether we have those coats. Are you getting me? So don't confuse those two. Because you have a very small circle of friends. After we all buy your coats, then where is your market? So have a product that can be commercialized. That it is me looking for it because I need it. Of course, scalability is something you can scale, grow, scale, grow, scale, grow. That's what makes the difference. Wacha nimalizie na investments. And let me say this clearly. Mimi, I have made more money passively than actively. If I do tu pesa yote niko nayo niiwekelee hapa, I have made many multiples money passively than I have made money actively. So the two things I talked about have have given me less money, including entrepreneurship, than the money I've gotten in investments. That's why it's very important. And I'll start here because we come here to learn from each other. Kuna hizi share mnasikianga. Za kampuni gani? Hamuna heshima? Haya, hiyo. Si mmeielewa? Sitaki kuisema kwa sababu mimi mwanasiasa sitaki pia nachuga nini mdomo kidogo. Hiyo kitu hiyo nataka kukupea a very practical example which is not an example. I did it. Let's assume you have 2 million shillings. That was the year 2024. This is real, eh? It is real. So 2024 you have 2 million shares, 2 million shillings. A company was selling at 2 shillings per share. So how many shares would you have bought? Yeah? Yesterday, the price was 20 shillings and 40 cents. So how much money would that be? 20 million, 400,000. Hata useme, nipeeni tu hii 400,000, nipaguze jasho. Hujahesabu dividends. Dividends ni ile, wana make profit, wanakubuka, unajua hii kampuni iko na wenyewe, acha tugawia kitu. That's the area I'm getting into now. Maybe 7 minutes, I'll be done. I want you to know, even those people in Forbes, even those who started the businesses, at some point, they stopped being entrepreneurs. They started being investors. The Google brothers, they are not real brothers. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, I don't think they have active role anymore in Alphabet. So they are investors there. You may call them founders, but as we talk, they are investors. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, investors. Here in Kenya, anywhere, real money is not in what you get by kulima shaba. It is by adding value to that shaba and selling it. So, there are several areas of investing. Ndio tukuje hapo. The lower the risk, the lower the return. It is an old adage. Hata mtashangaa, yani mtu aliitwa tu kutuambia hiyo. There is no money that is more risk-free than the one you have in the pocket. Even better, the money you have under your mattress. That is the safest. Safe. Because you have it. You can, ukienda home jioni, you can always look at it, take a photo with it, take a selfie, unairudisha. So you can see it. There is no risk. And because there is no risk, there is no one to compensate you for anything that has no risk. Just the same way, if you don't want to start a business and become wealthy, you can just say, mimi wacha nikae nyumbani. Fine. There is no risk of your business failing, but there is zero opportunity for you to making anything. Even in investments, it's the same. You have cash in liquid form. Zero risk because you have it and you trust yourself. So in your pocket wallet, pesa yako iko hapo. Zero risk, zero return. That's the hierarchy. The second in that order of hierarchy is fixed deposit in the bank. Either fixed or whatever. That's the next hierarchy of investments. So they'll give you 8%, 10, 7. Why do banks give you? Why should anyone pay you to keep your money safe? Have you ever asked yourself that question? The reason why you take your money, you go to the bank, you don't know them, you don't even know the owner. Even the person taking money from you in the bank, you don't know them. But you go with a kamfuko, you give them money. And then by the way, you tell them, fix it for a year. Nataka ufikirie beyond what you've been thinking, because it looks normal. Hey, tunapeleka bank, it's safe. Who told you? Haven't you seen banks collapsing? And people losing money? So the reason, then why would the bank pay you to employ askari kurida pesa yako? Just able to try to think. Ati I have a safe, I employ askari, najenga nyumba, a vault, to put your money, and then I pay you to keep your money. The reason why banks do that is to compensate you for the minimal risk that, we are a bank, we may fail. You may come tomorrow and we collapsed. So they are compensating you for being so courageous. You have taken money to a stranger, so they compensate you for telling you, we may actually fail. Because for the last 10 years here in Kenya, 2 of us have failed. So people came to the way. What's the possibility? Forget about Guinea, they will let your money. You as an individual, they are compensating you for the risk you took to take money to a stranger. Forget about what then they do with your money. That's another business altogether. But because there are too many farm banks, that's why even you, the risk you are taking is too low, my brother. So please accept the 7%. Na kama hautaki, tuko banks mingi hii dunia. That's basically what they tell you. The other cadre of investments, they are called treasury boards and bills. So you have money, 1 million. So the government tells you, hey, Maria, we want to build some roads, but we don't have money. Please give us your money. We will return it back to you after 10 years. But we'll be paying you an interest of 10%, but after every 6 months, we give you half of that. So what is happening there? I have my money. The government is here. Government borrows my money. So they give me maybe 12% for being a good Kenyan, of lending my government money. So you are being compensated. Why are you being compensated? Because ordinarily unaweza weka hii pesa kwa nyumba na wezi wakuje wachukue. Then it is safer by the government keeping for you. Are you getting it? Nataka mtoe hii gine munaelewa. Nataka tujadiliane. So hii ni government. So government, if we trust the government with so much, including our health, our education system, our security. So it means, huyo mtu anaitwa government, akona nguvu somehow. So why is he paying you to keep your money? Don't you think you should pay them? Because they are farm, pesa haitapotea. They compensate you because even governments fail. You can wake up tomorrow, the government is unable to pay you for your treasury boards. So they compensate you for taking a risk of giving a government money to keep it for you for 10 years. So every cadre there is rewarding you for the amount of risk you are taking. But if you realize all those that I mentioned, they know hata wewe uko na mchezo. Wanakuangalia wanaona hata wewe ni mjaja. You don't know how to tire your mind. So bank wanakuangalia, okay, you have money you have no use for. Na clearly hutaki kuchoka akili kujua vile unaweza tengeneza pesa na hii pesa yako. So tutakupea tu hii juu nimeona hutaki kuchoka. Even here government, yani ulitafuta milioni 1 ukatafuta na uko nayo. So already ulikuwa na akili mzuri sana ukitafuta hii milioni 1. But you don't even know how to grow it. So, because you don't know what to do with it, later, we'll reward you for some risk ile kidogo umefanya. So this is the fourth one and the last one, ndio nimalize. The reason why everywhere I go, I talk about investing in companies, and is the last one, is because I see more value there, and I can see somewhere I can exercise my mind. When I'm taking money in the bank, the only place I will exercise my mind and brain, which bank am I taking to? Ya green, ama ya blue, ama ya red? Can you imagine? Your decision making has been reduced to only choosing among our 40 banks, which one are you fixing your money? Clearly hata wewe umeona uko na mchezo, hutaki kuchoka. So this issue of now investing in companies gives me an ability and an opportunity to exercise my mind. Because there are thousands of companies. So if I really zoom in, exercise my analysis, exercise my mind, I'm likely to get value which other people are not seeing simply because they don't know how to get tired. This is the second reason. When I put money in the bank, fix it, or you put money in a government board, there is no life. The money is still. It does not grow. It's like a log of wood that is dry. But when I invest in a company, there is a possibility this small mango tree may grow to bring forth mangoes, which I will sell, and some I will incubate to give more mango trees. So when I invest in a company, I see growth. When I invest in a company, I see growth because my grandfather who bought equity shares, when it had a branch in Kagema and Kahatia and Kireaini, the share he bought hiyo moja, vile Equity Bank imeenda DRC, bado hiyo share inamtafutia pesa huko. So the growth, you are growing together. And that is why I call upon you. Hii Nairobi Securities Exchange yetu is the most undervalued of all serious stock markets in the world. It is the most undervalued. Most undervalued. What do you look for? Vitubidi tu nitawapea nikae chini. Because I also want you to go do your work. I was in the UK. This is a real story. You can find a video there. I was in the UK wearing the same jacket. Kuna wale mumewatch. When I was in the UK early this year, I was wearing exactly this jacket. So one lady stood there, asked me, if you had 20 million, what would you buy? We compare, I think, 3 shares. We compare Kenya Power back then, it was, I think, 15 or 17. The second company come be Equity Bank. That time, I'm not telling you what to buy. Remember, I'm not in the UK and it's not now. So nikasema hapo Equity Bank. The third company, I talked about the company, maybe hamjawahi sikia, inaitwa Kind General. That time it was 55 shillings. Yesterday it was 125. Okay, utaniuliza ulijuaje? This information is public. But we don't want to get tired. Nichoke kwa nini? When you are analyzing a company, mimi nawaacha na vitu mbili na allow me to demonstrate, pastor. Hebu nipate, jinaona mko excited. Nipate watu watatu hapa chap wanisaidie hii point. Gender parity. Lazima kukue, yes. Kuja na mic one person. Because you've watched videos me demonstrating this. I want to do it to you. Because I want as many Kenyans to be aware of investments. Because we have no low-hanging fruits. We can't start talking about sophisticated investment instruments when we have not exhausted glaring ones, ziko hapa chini tunaokota kama maembe. The US, nataka mtoe simu. Tuenda na ninyi, kila mtu. Because when I'm buying shares myself, I start this way. Globally, which is the cheapest market, how are the markets? So I look at New York, that is NYSE. In Africa, you look at Johannesburg, and then you look at NGX in Nigeria, and then you look at our own NSE. Those are more or less benchmarks to show you dunia inaenda wapi. When you build a flat hapa Limuru, flat ikugharimu milioni 10 na unapata rent ya 1 million a year. How long will it take you to recover your money? Na wale wako nyuma tuongee. Umebuy plot ya 10 years ama umejenga na rent ni 1 million per year. How many years will it take you to recover your money? 10. Hii kizugu yote mnasikiaga inaitwa price of earning ratio, hiyo ndio hiyo. That jargon you hear called PE ratio, that is what it means. If I bought a company today and it just makes the profit it made last year, niseme I don't want more profit, waendelee tu kutengeneza hiyo. How long will it take me to recover my money using the net profit? That is what is called a PE ratio. Muandike muende mu research baadaye na ufanye za the whole NSE, around 60 companies. Fortunately, you not do like me. Me, I confirm mpaka kwa financial statements. Hii iko na AI. Ukigogo tu hapa kwa Google, ile Gemini yao inakupea hata answer ile mimi na calculator. So hata hiyo calculator I think I'll sell it. So you don't need to, can you imagine? Hii simu, the time you do TikTok, you scroll Facebook for something, hata ukiulizwa umekuwa ukitafuta nini hata hujui. You can use a slice of that to get information that's very useful to you. But we don't like that. We don't like that. We like coming, unaenda get together ya family ya my cousins, wanakwambia, you know, kuna hii ka investment niliambiwa na rafiki yangu. Then you put in your money. Of course, the fate is always one. Losing your money. So, nawapea only 2 formulas nikae chini. Hiyo ya kwanza inaitwa PE ratio. Kabisa. Ya pili inaitwa price to book value. Mi natumiaga only those 2. Then from there now I can use my instincts. Just kuangalia tu vitu haziko. CEO wa hiyo kampuni anakuwaga mtu mzuri. But look, fundamentals are in those 2 things. Musingi. So, uko na phone, toeni phone. Hapana, edeni simu, unaweza kujaji hapa bila simu hapa hivi. Na unaatia mtu kwanza naona anaangalia message zako pengine. Haya. Bro ako tayari hapa. Nataka tufanye hii round 1 tumalizane nayo. Nitawapea kila mtu mtihani yake. Ndio nimalize hata overstay hapa. Very good. Simu mtu hachangi. Unajua hapa ndio bank hata iko siku hizi. Yeah. Na bank akitiki ni muhimu hata kuliko password ya Facebook. Haya. Hata nyinyi mtusaidie. Si ndio? Hebu niambieni one company you know listed in the NSE. Hapo kwa one company. Yes? Eh? Those are that's they have a different name. I want a company. Yeah? Unilever delisted. Equity Bank. Wewe ni wewe utafanya hiyo. Kenyari, wewe kila kitu utafanya ya Kenyari. Whatever it is that I'll tell you to do. Absa Kenya. Kengen. wewe utafanya KenGen. Whatever it is, you'll do for KenGen. Yeah? CIC. Utafanya CIC. Na wewe Safaricom. Kuja wewe umesema KQ ndio tumalize. Kuja mtu wa KQ, naona unataka tikiti ya ndege. Na ya mwisho, si hatuwezi sahau ile ingine. Nani ataifanya sasa hiyo? Pana aje wewe. Kuja bro. Hapana wewe kaa, kuja my sister. Nimeona hapa Jeddah bado mnataka kufinya our sisters. I can't allow that as a member of parliament in Kenya. So, nataka mfanye chap chap. Kila mtu hapa from here ufanye, unauliza tu Google, what is the price to book value? Sasa hiyo kampuni ulisema. Na wa mwisho, kuna kampuni nataka nifanye ya mwisho. Come bro, yes. Wewe utafanya Kenya Pipeline. Naona unaweza kuwa mwanabiashara wa mafuta. Kenya Pipeline. So tuanze. Na hata nyinyi, by the way, kwa hiyo kitu yote nimeongea, ile tu niwaletea ni hii. This is the only thing I can leave behind for you to make use of, an active use of, and make money out of it. Because you do not make money in buying companies. Buying shares is buying a company. You don't make money when you are selling. You make money when you are buying. When you buy cheap, you give a higher spread of making more money. So always make sure you are buying cheap. Haya, utauliza what is the price to book value ya hiyo kampuni ulisema. So from there unasema tu ya Kenyari ama hii ni this one. Hata tuanze pale. Yeah. Yes, please tupe hii mic. Yes.
Price to book value for Kenyari is 0.36.
Wacha niwaambie what this means. If you buy a plot of 1 million at 1 million shillings, the price to book is 1. Let me repeat. If you bought, usikie kuna plot inauzwa, na value amekwambia hii ploti value yake ni 1 million. If you pay 1 million to buy it, the price to book is what you paid divided by its real worth. So if it's 1 million over 1 million, then it gives you 1. If you bought it at 700,000, it will be 700,000 divided by 1 million. So it's 0.7. It means you are buying it at a premium or a discount. Discount. If you bought it at 1.5 million, it is 1.5 million divided by 1 million. That's 1.5. It means you have overbought or underbought. Overbought by 50%. So once you get anything below 1, it's a discount. Then you wonder what kind of discount. Kama hii yake 0.36. You are paying 36 shillings to get 100 bob in return. Yani umeenda kwa kiosk inauza pesa, unampea, hebu niuzie hiyo shilingi 100, unampea 36 bob. Haya. Rudia tena sasa ndio tuende hivyo.
The price to book value of Kenyari is 3.6. 0.36.
The price to book value of Absa Kenya is 1.49 to 1.69.
Very good. Is that a premium or a discount? Premium.
For Kenya Airways, KQ is negative 20.81.
The price to book ratio for KenGen is 0.22.
Rudia.
KenGen PB ratio is 0.22.
The price to book value
You know why? Mumejikalisha hapa, alafu nikitoka, ati ulisema ninunue share gani?
Okay. The price to book of Equity Bank is 2.06.
That's not the one.
The market cap is
Ya Equity hapo?
You are to Google.
Around 1. Yes, it's around 1. Yes. Lakini baby, unajua saa ingine Google anaweza kuwa na maneno, so utagogo tena, lakini ni one. Their market cap is exactly there.
For CIC insurance is 1.1. 1.1 to 1.6.
The price to book for Safaricom is 7.09.
The price to book value for Kenya Power and Lighting Company Limited is 0.3.
The price to book value of Kenya Pipeline is 1.84.
Haya, ya mwisho. Mfanye to the same company mtu alifanya na hata nyinyi mshike. What is the PE ratio of the same company? Kila mtu hapa. PE measures this. If it measures period in years. If I bought this company to, kama saa hii tunaambiangwa proti hukaa how long kujilipa, mkisikia huko kwa mtaa. Ukijenga proti huwa inateka how long kujilipa? 15 years. Sasa ni hiyo. Hiyo ndio PE ratio. So what you'll be hearing here ni hiyo. How many years would it take me kwa hii proti inaitwa Kenya Re kurudisha pesa yangu, si nikiuza, nikitumia net income. Net income. Tuanze hapo. What is the PE? P for parent. E for elephant.
The PE ratio for Kenya Re is 4.1x to 5.1x based on the recent share price of 3.51 market capital, roughly 19 billion.
Is around 4 years. Mwanza kushika
The PE value, the PE ratio of Absa Bank Kenya is 8.1x.
PE ratio for KQ is 0.3.
PE ratio for Kenyan 6.54 to 6.6.
The PE ratio of Equity Bank is 4.3 years.
Repeat.
PE ratio for CIC.
Ebu repeat.
The PE.
I hope unashika. Umenunua proti imeitwa Equity. Ati unaambiwa rent yake ikikaa tu vile iko, huongezi rent, it will take you 4 years. That's what is measuring. Yeah.
PE ratio for CIC is 21.43.
PE ratio for Safaricom is 14.79.
PE ratio for Kenya Power is 1.5 to 1.6.
PE ratio for Kenya Pipeline is 22.07.
Kama niwe hapa unaweza nunua share gani? Unajua hata mimi nilikuja kusoma, si I just came to run from you. Na sina shida. Unaweza nunua gani? Gani huwezi nunua? Thank you very much. May God bless you. Nimemaliza.
Let's appreciate Mheshimiwa one more time. As you take your lunch, please sit down with a notebook and do the math, your PE ratio, so that we can be able to make sure that thing sinks in and sinks in properly. Okay. All right. Now, Mahesh, we had a gift for you. So just before we maybe move to the next stage, I'll just invite you once again very kindly, together with Pastor T, just to come and give you that gift. Our show of appreciation for making the time to be here together with us. Let's appreciate Mheshimiwa one more time, together with our father, Pastor T, together with Pastor Claudia as well, as we let's appreciate that gesture with a clap. Once again, that was quite informative information that we've been able to receive from Heshimiwa, quite educative stuff, and we are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Now, our time is really far gone. But I believe we have made good use of the time that we have been able to have here. We are scheduled to take a very short break to get a bite so that now we can come and have our last two speakers of the day. And then we can have a very brief panel discussion and we can address the questions. I'm told the questions are coming in thick and fast within the platform that we had given, and I would ask the media team to please share that QR code once again for anyone who had not scanned it. So kindly, let's allow our guests to just, and I hope the protocol team can assist us with this, to usher our guests to their lounge area as they grab a quick bite. Now, we are looking to be gathered here in 20 minutes' time. So grab what we are grabbing once we are able to step out. Let's appreciate them as they make their way out. We will have a crash course for the remaining sessions that we have for the day so that we can maximize on time. Let's wait for everyone to step out. And we'll give them a few minutes as well because they've headed towards the exhibitors area. So let's kindly give them a bit of time to navigate that space. Are we learning? Are we growing? I think among very many other take-homes, one of the biggest take-homes from that presentation was get you or get yourself a friend like Wamwere. Bwana asifiwe sana. Do you remember Wamwere in the story? A man who is willing to lose a relationship to help you grow and invest in you. But at the same time, you yourself be our Wamwere to someone else as well. Bwana asifiwe sana. And I know we are going to be blessed. Brian Moyo, sir, very good to see you. Karibu sana. I am glad when you're here because I know there are some things that are okay. Very good to see you. Okay, so I will release us. Like we said, guys, please let's take 20 minutes maximum so that we can be able to maximize on the two sessions that are remaining. We'll be hearing from Kevin Muley of Payless, and we'll be hearing from the man, the myth, the legend, Caliph Cairo as well, as we look forward to wrap up and head into the panel session. Amen. Let's take our break and let's gather in 20 minutes time, guys. So we should be back here at 3:20, ready to proceed.
swallow on the mix. Yeah. You they do. No go they do anyhow, cause you know they concern you. Who you want teach for the matter? Who you want teach for the matter? Who you want teach for the matter? The king is still on the throne. No they fight God, no they fight God, no they fight God. You they do, 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 you they do. Every knee go bow, every tongue confess, say Jesus, nah God. Every knee go bow, every tongue confess, say Jesus, nah God. You they do, 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 you they do. No lie, I'm not your child, you know. You they do, 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 you they do. You they do, you they do. Mad